I'd like to welcome everyone to the Software Spotlight, your front row seat to the latest innovations in AI powered software for small business. I'm Michael Bernswag, your host. Each week, we're joined by executives at leading software companies to get an insider's perspective on the emerging technologies, businesses, strategies, and market trends shaping the future. Tune in to stay ahead of the curve on leveraging artificial intelligence to boost productivity and growth in your business. Be sure to visit softwareoasis.com to access our free weekly AI newsletter and sign up for our upcoming 2024 AI webinar series. This week, as our guest, we have the head of marketing from NachoNacho, the world's fastest growing B2B SaaS marketplace, Andy Caruso, joining us. And his solution is focused on driving partner-led growth. They're based out of San Francisco, and NachoNacho acts as an efficient matchmaker between buyers and sellers of SaaS products, leveraging predictive analytics to recommend relevant software based on purchasing behavior. The diverse NachoNacho team aims to transform how businesses manage and consolidate their subscriptions. So, Andy, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me on today, Michael. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, same here, and it's wonderful to connect on the spotlight here. And I know a lot of our listeners and viewers, for that matter, have been watching the solution grow and evolve at a pretty quick clip. First off, let me just start with one question that I'm sure a lot of people may or may not know, and where did the name come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. Usually, actually, the first question we get a lot of times, but I always say in Nacho, it means in American, it means that's a cool name. Where did you get it from? It's just kind of a catchy name. It just grabs your attention. It sounds kind of fun. A lot of
Sure,
people attribute it to nachos, which everybody likes. So it
absolutely.
does well from a branding perspective, but it actually means dance in Hindi, actually.
Oh, very
Little known
fun.
fact.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great opportunities to find meaningful names, and I think right there, that's one of them. So I
Yep.
was hoping, can you give us a little overview of the, you know, where where you came to the company from, and the problem that the business aims to solve within the marketplace of software solutions?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So, I came to the company about a year and a half ago. I've been an entrepreneur myself for about 20 years. I used to have a digital marketing agency, so I got to work with a lot of companies like LA Fitness, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, BMC Software, a bunch of different brands in
Fun.
the B2B space, but also in the B2C space. So I got a lot of great insights into consumer marketing, but also business to business marketing too. Um, from there, I got out of the agency business and decided to focus on productizing ideas. So a lot of times I was taking other people's products and helping them solve their problems. And what I realized is, instead of having somebody give you a product and say, "Go bring this to market and figure out why people don't want to buy it," um, I realized the best place to start is with the customer problem and designing a solution around solving the customer's needs. So I wanted to get into the product business because I felt like I could really understand the customer problem, and because of that, I could help design better solutions for them. Starting from that point, and then when you bring it out to the customer, if you really had the foresight to think through the problem and actually create a solution that actually helps them out, it's a much easier product to market. So it made my job as a marketer a lot easier. So from there, I kind of got into more of the operational space, building a software and product companies. So I learned the operations side. Continue to focus on the marketing side as well, but also started to learn more about product development. Not only just creating hardware products, I've created mobile apps, and now recently I'm also working with the NachoNacho team on a lot of their artificial intelligence features that are going to market, and just the general
Fun.
website and app development projects too. So I'll work with the engineers and the designers, bringing a lot of those new features to market. Actually,
So you probably bring a great perspective in terms of UX and design, and really having worked at all the different levels within. You were a
yeah,
good find for these guys.
Yeah, everything teaches you something, and I told the CEO, like, I know we're mostly B2B for this company, but there's a lot of stuff you can learn from B2C, and I think B2C marketers are really good at storytelling, really good at connecting with customers at the emotional level. And I'm a big fan of, even in B2B, people make emotional decisions when they buy. They see a great looking design website, a brand that makes them say, that sounds cool, I want to buy from these guys. So a lot of the same principles really apply. So my diverse experience really brings a lot to the table there. And as a marketer, I'm able to create features for NachoNacho with the rest of the team to kind of make the product have a better overall onboarding experience, which helps our conversion rates for marketing, create features that help customers solve their software discovery problem, which gets them into the marketplace to ultimately buy software from us, which further down the line, drives the other KPIs that we're looking for in marketing as well.
Neat. Now, I know in addition to handling everything that you're doing there, you're also a fellow podcaster, and
Yeah.
just to give a little shameless plug to your podcast, can you tell our listeners a little bit about the podcast and where they could sign up if they'd like to subscribe?
Yeah, so we call it Nacho Tuesdays. So everything at NachoNacho is Nacho this, Nacho that. So our virtual cards that we use for spend management and tracking your subscription expenses, we call those Nacho cards. For our podcast, we call it Nacho Tuesday. And for that, we do it every Tuesday. Depending on the time frame, we interview people across the world. So sometimes we do it early in the morning, sometimes later in the evening, but usually around 3 p.m. Eastern time. But they could find it at nachonacho.com/Nacho Tuesday. The format's really just interviewing software founders and key executives at software companies. So, um, like you mentioned earlier, PLG is a big motion for us. That's partner-led growth, and with that, we like to do a lot of co-marketing with our partners. So, as we bring
Sure.
on new software companies, we really like to beat the drums for them and kind of spread awareness for their products. And one of the features for that is actually doing an interview with the founders and kind of learning more about their background, what inspired them to start the company, and just going over general industry tips that they've learned through all their experience that we could pass on to other people.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, hopefully, some of our listeners take you up on that and join the channel. But I've watched a bunch of episodes, and I think you have a great format. So as far as speaking to that point, as far as the solution itself, can you tell us at a high level, like an overview of what Nacho Nacho does and what the capabilities and features are for your ideal customer?
Yeah, definitely. So there's two main problems that we solve. The overarching problem is trying to solve SaaS brawl. But in layman's terms, I try to communicate to people what we do is we're the Amazon of SaaS with a backend SaaS management solution as well. So at the foreground, what a lot of people will notice is the marketplace. So we have about 700 plus software brands that we work with. So the three key attributes that we have here is discover, save, and manage. We're the first place to discover software. So we want people to come to the marketplace to look for software solutions that kind of fit their needs. We have, quite a large variety across a bunch of different software categories. The second part is that they can save on the software, usually an average of 30%, sometimes upwards of 90%, which we have a deal with HubSpot for right now. Um, Lastly, as they come to us to buy their software, as they start buying more subscriptions and their team members start to realize the SaaS sprawl problem, we have this super powerful SaaS management solution on the back end where you can manage all of your expenses company wide, per vendor, per employee, right down to the exact cent.
Wow. So it sounds like you've really put together a solution that covers the whole life cycle of a company from when they're first, discovering software all the way through to managing and purchasing the solution.
Yeah, one thing we realize is as entrepreneurs ourselves too, is that SaaS buying is becoming very decentralized. So in a company, it's not necessarily the IT manager making the purchase decisions anymore. It's not necessarily the CEO. He's too busy with a lot of other things. So what you find is, department heads, even like individual teams are kind of making their own purchase decisions. So SaaS buying is becoming very decentralized. So the initial, like the procurement systems that a lot of people have in place are kind of becoming outdated. a lot of people are expecting to be able to go find their own software, do their own research, and buy the software. So the better that you could align with that current behavioral model right now in the market that we see today, being a place where it doesn't matter who it is in the company, they can come in, they could find the software they're looking for, they could easily buy it without having to, go through it, jump through a bunch of hoops, and then eventually win the whole business over from the entire company to realize that they can actually get all their software for all their departments with us.
So you've really provided like almost like a high level dashboard for the company to be able to view everything that's going on with their software
Yep.
partnerships or solutions, from different companies, because
Yeah.
clearly no one solution does everything, but
Nope.
at the end of the day, they need to know what they have that they're paying for.
Yeah, and the key for us is we have this tool called Nacho cards. We basically use it as a fintech tool. Nacho cards are virtual cards. A lot of people are probably aware of those. But how we use them is as an attribution tool. So when you're in the company and you're using our SaaS management solution, one of the admins, whoever has the purchasing capabilities, could issue cards out to employees that need to buy software. And then that tool becomes not only an attribution tool for verifying the purchase actually happened with the software company, which is how they get their cash back. Um, Two, it allows us to track and control all the expenses too. So the admin of the company can see down per vendor, per employee, what they're spending, what software they're using. They could cancel cards in one click. So if, say they have a vendor they don't want to work with anymore, they could just cancel that subscription. They don't have to worry about, getting stuck with, having that loose end, I guess, paying out every single month.
Right. Got it. And are there a lot of situations where a company may have um, different types of annual agreements and things like that come into play that need to be navigated, or not so much? Is it mostly just transitioning from one scenario to another, or what do you find there?
Yeah, there's there's always contract issues there, and we always recommend that any of our customers review the terms of their software provider before buying from them, and that's something that they would
Sure.
review on the vendor site. So what we act as is a marketplace. We give you a virtual card, you go spend that on the vendor site, but the actual transaction happens on the vendor site. So the
Got it.
vendor
Okay.
actually owns the customer, which is great for them.
Sure.
Another thing that sellers really love about us is that they actually have a relationship with the customer. We're not like Amazon, which actually hides that data from you as a seller.
For
We
sure. And
actually send that customer to you. So we
got
definitely
it. So
recommend that customers review every term with every software provider. Um, a lot of those software contracts are becoming less common, but you'll find them
yeah.
more in like enterprise level products. So definitely be
Yeah,
aware of those
exactly.
before you sign up with them. We don't recommend that anybody try to use our system as great and as easy as it is to cancel your subscription. We don't recommend that you
Yeah.
break a legal contract with anybody. So
Makes sense. So a lot of the solutions that companies may already be using today can be found on the marketplace for less, is kind of what it sounds like.
yep. Yeah. So we have, all the top brands. We have, HubSpot, we have AWS, we have, Aweber, Figma, Slack, Notion, all the top brands, Zoom, all the top brands you could imagine. We have 700 plus now. I think we're adding about at least 5 new software vendors per week, but that's probably going to start accelerating over the next few months, especially since we've seen like really good growth over the last 4 to 5 months.
Wow, so you're really offering a complete solution for companies that are looking to expand, or on both ends of it, for companies that are looking to get introduced to new potential customers, but on the
Yep.
flip side of it, to companies that are looking to get control of their spend. You're
Yeah. I
really
mean, we
you're
have
providing
everything from
value
every.
on every end, to be
Yep.
honest.
Yeah. So really, I mean, we have a solution for everything. If you're in HR, we have all the top HR software. We have like Gusto, we have Deal. If you're in marketing, we have HubSpot. A lot of email marketing tools, everything you would need. If you're in operations, we have all the tools you need there too. Customer service, you name it. Every department in a company could possibly be covered with some of the top brands that we carry, and get amazing discounts on those products too.
Yeah, and I know a lot of obviously different options for people. May not offer you know different pricing opportunities like you're talking about. So that's really amazing.
Yep.
And I was wondering, as if we were to focus on like the subscription management and how companies are able to manage their subscription expenses, can you talk a little more to that, so that maybe if you could maybe give an example of I don't know if there's a specific company you can give an example of, or maybe just
Yeah.
a case of how it would work in real life.
Yeah, definitely. So once people are fully on board and kind of understand how the whole SaaS management model works, our customers love it. They find the Nacho card specifically to be very convenient. Initially, for people, it sounds crazy. It's like hundreds of credit cards. I'm like, I don't need
Yeah.
another credit card. But the one thing that we're working on repositioning it as is not a credit card per se. It's more of a fintech tool for controlling and managing your expenses. Um, so once customers are fully on board and understand that, they really love the tool through and through. So we have a lot of tools to kind of support the whole SaaS management process. One, we make it very easy to onboard everything that you already have. We have a couple tools for that. We can connect directly with QuickBooks. You could use a tool. We have a Chrome extension tool called Sidekick, which actually, if your employees are using it or one of the admins, we could actually track your browser history. If you allow us, it's a setting you can turn on or off, but that'll tell us
Right.
like which subscription sites you're visiting and logging into. You could also use Google Connect for that too. So it all starts with like Sherlock as part of the onboarding, where you can come in, you can connect your accounts, you can see the subscriptions that you already have, therefore helping you identify the SaaS brawl problem that you already have. And then from there, you can go about managing it. You could assign virtual cards for each employee that you want to have access to each software. And then that will start tracking automatically every single transaction each one of those employees make with each and every venue. And then we provide a full dashboard for you to see across the entire company what all the spend is, what subscriptions you have, who's spending what on which piece of software. And then as we collect more data about your use of our platform, the software you're using, we actually have a tool called Shaman where we could accurately recommend software that you should be using based on your buying habits. So Shaman uses artificial intelligence. I know buzzword, but we're actually since we're collecting so much data on people like you, what they're buying, what you're buying for your company yourself, we can get very accurate in terms of what we could recommend for you for maybe an alternative email marketing software that might be better suited for a company at your size at a better price point. So that's long term, that's going to continue to evolve, and that's going to just further enhance the entire discovery process for people to come to our platform and actually discover relevant software that they could actually save money on.
So in the case of like you mentioned HubSpot, so there's a 90% discount on the plan.
Mhm.
So for a company that we're onboarding individuals onto HubSpot, um, let's say you know they don't have a HubSpot subscription at all, and they're just starting from
Mhm.
scratch. What would the process look like from when they first arrive at NachoNacho? What does
Yeah.
that look like?
Yeah, so there's two main paths into NachoNacho. One is you have a SaaS brawl problem, you want to fix that first. So you sign up for a premium account, you go into the SaaS management portal. There you could get access to Sherlock, and that will kind of help you identify all the subscriptions that you already have. And then it will suggest automatically other subscriptions like HubSpot, for instance. The other path, which is the most common, is people come from the marketplace, where they come looking for a CRM software. And then that's where we help recommend to people software that they should be using. And this experience only gets more dialed in and accurate the more you use the system. And if you create a premium account, you're actually using the SaaS management capabilities. uh, we're able to more accurately recommend great software products like HubSpot for you. But at the forefront, the marketplace is actually very easy to shop with. So we make it very easy to find those products. And then from there, you can see what the discount is. You can go directly to HubSpot's site. If it's a premium deal, it requires a Nacho card, which allows
Right.
you to track your spend. And that's where you unlock all the powerful SaaS management capabilities. But if you don't want that, we do have some basic products where you could just click on the link, go to the website, and you could sign up directly with the vendor. In either case, you're signing up directly with the vendor, whether it's with the Nacho card if you want the SaaS management capabilities, or if you just want to go buy the product and get the discount. That SaaS will continue to be um, will continue to be managed in our dashboard as well too. So even if you're getting the basic deals, those will continue to accrue in your account, and then you'll see that, you know, you'll see all that software that you're actually subscribed to in your account, and you'll be able to actually, realize that you have a problem with SaaS Brawl, because now you have 5-10 pieces of software, and now the HR department wants to start buying software. And of course, you like NachoNacho because we're the best place to save on SaaS. So
Right.
now you realize the SaaS Brawl problem, and you might want to upgrade to the premium account and get those capabilities.
So at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think there's a company out there that doesn't want to, you know, reduce their spend and become more efficient and all of that. So
Mhm.
using the solution, it sounds like the companies that are actually managing their subscriptions through NachoNacho are doing just that. They're becoming more efficient. They're, it sounds like they're not
Infinitely.
actually. Yeah, I mean, they're not. I'm not sure. We can talk a little later about pricing, but at the end of the day, you're providing value before they're actually
Yeah.
even having to. Yeah, so it's a win versus
Yeah.
versus another expense.
Yeah, unfortunately, an average people will save 30% about on their SaaS spend if they're using a SaaS management tool like us.
Right.
But unfortunately, a lot of people are still using spreadsheets, and it's
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
incredibly
got you.
inconvenient. And we hear that a lot from people. I liken it to like the gym. So, New Year's, a lot of people go to the gym, and they're like, "I'm gonna get fit this year," but everybody knows what to do. You got to eat well, you got to work out, you got to sleep well, drink a lot of water. But like doing all those things requires a lot of work, right? So like a lot of people end up like falling off the wagon, I guess, after a little while. And same with solving
Sure.
the SaaS Brawl problem. It's difficult. It's to bring everything over, all your subscriptions, to assign virtual cards to them. It just sounds like a daunting task, even though we've made it as easy as it possibly can be. I mean, if you connect your QuickBooks, we'll tell you all the subscriptions you have and pull them over, and you just one click
Wow.
out a card for it. But so actually addressing the problem and actually going out and solving it does require a little bit of work, more than maybe sticking to the behavior that you're used to, which is using a spreadsheet, even though it's highly inefficient. People are creatures of habit, and they like to kind of stick to the behavior that they're used to, um, until until the problem gets out of control and they realize that they actually have to do something about it.
Yeah, and so to me, it sounds like NachoNacho is really a tech solution, really to address this problem of software SaaS sprawl, and all of that. And
Yeah.
so that makes me wonder, like, can you talk a little bit about the architecture and the tech behind the scenes? I mean, it sounds like you have a brilliant team there that's doing the development and all of that on the platform.
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. I mean, yeah, these guys are brilliant. One thing that Sanjay's really done well is, hiring a great team. Like the engineers are like really bright guys. Like they're quick too. They just pump stuff out like faster than we can market it. um,
Neat.
but yeah, so the team's really great. So we're both on Node.js. We use elements of React, Prisma, and we're hosted on AWS. So we have a variety of different developers. Some are more machine learning. So we have Marwan, who does more of the machine learning work. Then we have full stack developers that do some of the back end as well as some of the front end. So, like I said, really talented guys. We don't have like a lot of specialties except for machine learning. But
Sure.
we do have like a lot of full stack developers that are just brilliant to be able to do front end work and the back end work as well too.
Well, I can tell you as a user of software myself, you guys are tackling a lot of the things that the users don't want to deal with, but the bottom line, you know, or bringing additional dollars to the bottom line is something that I don't think there are too many individuals, companies, or execs out there that would say it's something they don't want to do. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, and we
that
we got a long ways to go. I mean, we've seen some great growth this year, um, but like everything's just about fine tuning the small details now. It's making the onboarding experience better for people, making it quicker,
sure.
making it more clear for people. Um, helping people with education for how the platform works, introducing them to certain features at a certain time in their user journey, as opposed to like dumping everything on them up front, which could be, we have a lot of great
Overwhelming, I
features,
would
but
think,
it's a
right?
little
Yeah.
overwhelming if you
So let me,
hear about it
yeah.
on the
So
first day.
that's great. And kind of brings me to my next question. So Have you received a lot of feedback from customers along the way, and is that really how you develop the product, or where do the ideas come from in terms of the direction of the solution?
Yeah, so a lot of it comes down to vision, I think, which is really clear really important for any company. So I think the vision of solving SaaS sprawl and, for layman's terms, trying to be the Amazon of SaaS with the subscription management, moat, I guess, on the back end. Everything kind of starts with that. Like, are we serving the purpose and vision for which we started? So all the decisions that we make kind of fall in line with that. Then I think a lot of it does come down to customer feedback, right? So one of the things that we've realized is that um, the spend management customer and the marketplace customer aren't necessarily always the same. A lot more people just want a software deal and might not be ready to address the SaaS sprawl problem. But the SaaS sprawl people that want the spend management know exactly what they're looking for, and they'll just come right in for that. And those are the people that will go through KYC and they'll put in the effort to fully onboard. Whereas the marketplace people, you don't want to overwhelm them with all those great features that we have there. We'll introduce them to them later as they become more comfortable with the product. They start buying more software with us. They realize the value that we provide for them. Then they'll start to realize that we actually have a very powerful subscription management tool that they should be using. And by then, they'll trust our platform. They'll understand us a little bit more. They'll have a better onboarding education as well too. So um, lately, we've been switching to a marketplace first approach with a lot of people
Sure.
because, I mean, being at the point of attacks for every company has a different software buying need today. Not everybody's trying to solve SaaS sprawl right at this moment. But today they might have an HR problem. They need to hire somebody today. Maybe they have an
Right.
email list and they need to start getting their newsletter out, right? So we have all the email marketing tools they would need. So being at that point to provide value for them to have the software that they need at a discount, whatever their problem is in their business that software can solve, we're the best guys for them to come to buy that from, and we're gonna give them a great deal from it. And when they're ready to manage that subscription with all the other ones, we're right there for them too. They've already been buying from us.
Sure. And that's interesting because I know a lot of companies, they're, you know, maybe selling some other type of service, but they may use software as an opportunity to bring customers in the front door. A perfect example would be Neil Patel over at
Mhm.
his company. They have Uber Suggest and a whole variety of different software tools that they may make free for
Yeah,
individuals to learn about his digital media agency. But
yeah.
on
It's
on
all
the
about
flip side of
engagement.
it, yeah, on the flip side of it, there's a lot of value that he's offering, up front, and on the flip side of it, he's bringing new clients in the door consistently. So that's a perfect example.
Yeah, I mean, he's
So
really positioned himself as a thought leader, and he's using a lot of the other PLG, which is product-led growth, which I'm also a big proponent of. If you could design products to get people engaged right away and show immediate value, there's actually a good book around it too that I'd recommend. It's called Hook by Near EL, I think. Um,
okay,
it goes over the whole process of creating immediate value for people and then kind of hooking them on your product over time and getting them to eventually invest in the product, which means like more of like an actual commitment to using your software. But it all starts with engagement. If people actually want to engage with your product in some way, that's extremely powerful. You can introduce new features and more advanced stuff later on to them.
is a typical user logging into the solution often, or is it just kind of set it up and forget it, or
The people that use the spend management side log in quite a bit. We are big on integrations, so they
sure?
don't necessarily have to. I mean, they can get everything pumped over to QuickBooks and what have you, but the spend management users do come in quite often because we do have those dashboards, gives you like the visibility over your spend, and if you want to issue a virtual card to track and control an expense, software purchases happen, especially for mid-sized companies on a fairly regular basis. So you find yourself coming back in a lot more to create those Nacho cards and assign them to your employees.
Sure, makes a lot of sense. And as far as the typical user of the platform, is it mostly SMB or enterprise clients or entrepreneurs? Who do you see as the market for the solution?
Yep. So we have a lot of SMBs. So I won't say we're enterprise focused. We do have a lot of mid-sized companies, a lot of small businesses. We do have a lot of solo shops as well too. A lot of early stage startups need to save on SaaS, and we like to be a good solution for them and an easy place for them to buy that software with no gimmicks. But SMBs would probably be the term that we would use to describe our customer base.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. And how would you say the solution differentiate? I'm sure you must have some competitors. How would you say the
Yeah.
solution differentiates itself in the marketplace? What's your
Yeah.
competitive advantage, or your moat against competition, or what separates you guys out?
Yeah, so we have two classes of competitors, I guess. So on the marketplace side, you would have like an AppSumo. So how we differentiate from them, they tend to be, well, I guess starting from the top. So marketplace side would be like an AppSumo. On the spend management side, you have tools like Vendor, Tropic, a lot of more advanced. Some of them they tend to be more focused on like enterprise level clients.
Sure.
But on the marketplace side, AppSumo is a great product. They tend to work with a lot more early stage software. Um, a lot more like startups in general as their ICP as well, like early customers. So it's kind of like a deal of the day kind of an approach, mostly focus
Right.
on. They do have a marketplace, but it's primarily around like getting the initial sales for early stage software. One thing we've really differentiated ourselves on is working direct with a lot of big name brand software companies. So
Okay.
we're the place that have all the big names that you the first come to mind when it comes to the software that you're looking for. And I think Johan, our head of partnerships and business development, has done a really great job building these relationships with these top software brands and bringing them over to our platform. So from the marketplace side, we differentiate really well there. And then from the software discovery tools like Sherlock, identifying the subscriptions you have, um, to Shaman, getting very accurate software recommendations based on your buying habits and very similar profiles. We're doing a lot more deeper on the tech side than AppSumo or these other marketplaces are doing to become the best place to discover SaaS. Um, so those are
Makes a
some
lot of
key
sense. Yeah.
differentiators there. And what we've done is really built this vertical solution so you can come buy from us initially, and then you can use the SaaS management stuff later as you realize the problem. And that becomes a moat for the business. So initially you might come to buy Gusto because we have a great deal on it and we have, their great software on our platform, but eventually you'll stick around and realize that the SaaS management tools are very powerful. And once people are using the SaaS management, what we found with our customers is that they tend to be very loyal. They love that product and it's very sticky. And so that becomes ultimately the moat for the business. The marketplace is the attractor. Um, the spend management side is the moat for the business. In regards to vendor and kind of how we differentiate there, a lot of them are still kind of focused on old school procurement strategies and methods. We're really focused on trying to be a quick, easy, accurate place to quickly find the software you're looking for or get a better recommendation because of the way we leverage data, and then get a discount right then and there and move in the door. So yeah, a lot of those other spend management systems tend to be a lot more upstream, I guess, focus on enterprise than we do.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So I can hear people jumping out of their seats saying, "Show us the solution already. Show us the solution." So I was hoping maybe you could share a tab and give us a little bit of a feel for what the interface looks like and
Yeah.
what
Let me pull it up
people
here.
might experience with logging into NachoNacho and how it actually works.
Okay, let
I
me
think
open
they
it up
say
here.
what a picture is worth 1,000 words, right?
Exactly. Let's see here. Share my screen. See what kind of permissions it asks for. Here we go. Give me your credit card information. What? Just kidding.
That's
Let's see here. Looks like it's live.
how we monetize the show. There you
I know, right?
go.
Love it. Good model. Yeah, so here's NachoNacho. So as you can see here, a single platform to manage, discover, and save on SaaS and services. One thing I didn't mention much earlier, we did add a services section as well too. So kind of like Clutch, you could come in here and you could find different service providers. And once again, this goes into the way that we've designed our solution to be very vertical. So not only can you come in and buy HubSpot, but we could automatically recommend the best implementation partners for HubSpot based on their experience and skill sets. Um, so not only can you buy the software, but you can find integrators. You could find all different types of companies here, marketing agencies to promote your business. You could find, other, maybe even MSPs that might even help you with the software discovery process. So that's a really exciting revelation that we've had. The marketplace is here. So we have a lot of these top brands here, as you could see, all these different categories: accounting, finance, analytics, data, collaboration, communication, um, all the different possible software that you would actually need for your product, for your company. And a lot of the top brand names that you would recognize here: Slack, Gong. A lot of people use that, of course.
Sure.
Sprinto, HubSpot, Zoho, all the key solutions there. We also have a mastermind community as well, which is an online software community for peer-to-peer software advice. So people can come on here and ask questions about software, and real buyers and users for that software could actually recommend the software, give them advice on it, tell them all the features that it has, depending on what they're looking for, and then go from there. And then I'll log into the main dashboard here. Now, this is where it gets really powerful. So this is an admin account, so it's not populated with a bunch of other information. This is my account here. Yeah, so you'll have a spend breakdown by category here, recent activity, including different subscriptions that you might have set up. You also have monthly totals, company-wide spend. I can go through and create the Nacho card. It's the virtual card solution. So if I
Okay.
want, I could create a card for myself or assign it to other employees. I could track all my transactions. This is where I get my cash back. So after I make a
So
purchase of software, it'll show up here.
okay, so for the Nacho card, so it sounds like you have two aspects. You could actually have a card for an employee. You could
Yep.
also have a card per solution if you wanted, or
Yep. Yeah. So per
okay.
employee, per solution. So every card's attached to a person in the company. It could be the admin, or it could be the head of HR. I could assign a card to him, and then he can go make the purchases that he needs. I could set very strict limits for the card as
Yeah,
well.
okay.
You see all the cards created here. Here's
So
a
very,
virtual
very
card.
granular level of control.
Yep. Yeah. So I could create a card for myself. I can nickname it. I could, give it to you as some this particular role here. I just have myself in this account. But you would see your whole team here in a drop down. You could search for the person you're looking for, and you can assign them a card accordingly.
Sure.
Um, and then you get your cash back here, which is the fun part. So once we get the cash back from the vendor, say if it's 30% off, you'll get that 30%, whatever the purchase price is that you paid. This will come back here, and you could
Okay.
pull that directly out to your bank account. Here we have Shaman. So this is where we do software recommendations. So you could edit your preferences, and the more information you give us about like your title in the company role, the more software that you buy with us, the more accurately we could recommend products to you as well. And this is our AI powered tool for software recommendations.
So what is it
And
called?
then
Shaman? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Shaman. Yep. And then we just launched a chat feature, so I could chat with service providers or sellers, and go over details, like figure out if they have the feature that I'm looking for. If it's a
Hmm.
service provider, I could set up a contract with them and start doing the work. And then Sherlock's our subscription analysis tool. So you could use any one of these data sources here. See, it's already tracking this. Yep, see, Riverside. So because I have a
Sure.
Chrome extension browser called Sidekick, you
Yeah.
see it right here. Um,
It knows that we're
if you want,
recording
you
on
could turn
Riverside.
on right here. You could turn on the browsing history. So I turned it on so I could let it track which sites I'm logging into. So it
Hmm.
tracked Riverside as a subscription site, which it's a subscription site, right? You pay like a monthly fee for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Got it. Yeah. So this is just one tool. So the Chrome extension, you can go to a website. It'll tell you everything about the product. It'll show you reviews, what people are saying about the product, and then you can create a Nacho card to buy that product right then and there if you
So
want.
that's your discovery
Mm,
phase right there, right? Where it's
Yep.
discovered, what the solutions are. Because, figuring out, especially as a company grows, what everyone is using and what the different solutions are,
Mm.
that could be a whole project in and of itself,
Oh,
and
totally.
this
Yeah.
really automates the whole thing.
Yeah. We're trying to make it easy, right? So if your employees, you can just track what sites they log into, and we could tell if it's a subscription based site or not right off the bat. So it accurately identified this one right away here. So
Sure.
now I'm ready to assign a Nacho card for it already. It's that easy.
Wow.
And all I had to do was log in here and start using this.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're making it very easy identify your subscriptions, figure out who's got what, and then, start to take control of it and manage your spend more appropriately across the company.
You have to be super, super proud of what the team has put together there.
Oh yeah, these guys are amazing. I mean, I'm okay, but we got some real geniuses on the team.
Well, that's honestly that's part of what brings great ideas to life is the team and the people behind the scenes. That's the key.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a great team. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people over the years, and I have to say it's probably one of the most well-rounded, put together teams that I've been on. So, kudos to Sanjay for building a great and Alan as well for building a great team out here.
Wonderful. What I was going to say, can you give an example of, I don't know if you can share like a specific customer that's using the platform and their journey and what it's been like, maybe with some numbers or some ideas of some stats and things like that.
Yeah, well, we our CEO doesn't want us to give like specifics on like
And
individual
that's
customers,
fine.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but we do have the user page, so you can see a lot of the top customers there that have given reviews.
Okay.
So a lot of people love the product when they're using it. I would say for traction, we're seeing about, which again I can't give specifics, but
Yeah.
about 5x the subscription revenue this month we're tracking for, actually almost 6x what we were doing in October. So things are moving really quickly in that regard. We do have about 25,000 businesses signed up. Um, some of the customers we've saved, tens of thousands of dollars for.
Wow.
Quite a few customers we've already saved tens of thousands of dollars for, actually. So, once people start to realize how much money they're saving, they really love working with NachoNacho.
Yeah, and
And it helps
especially
start,
seeing the interface there with the cash back. I mean that doesn't hurt.
yeah, yeah, ding ding, you get an email that says you have cash back waiting for you. Everybody likes that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so right now we
So
have about 25,000 businesses on the platform too. We're tracking about 500 signups per month now, so that's really starting to take off and grow. And then more importantly, the marketplace engagement starting to really pick up. So we're seeing more sales across the board. So we're expecting 2024 to be a pretty good year for us.
well, if there are any venture capitalists listening, you never know. You might get some phone calls. But so that's really neat. And what year did the company actually start? What year did Nacho Nacho?
2019, we thought it would be a good idea to launch before COVID. Just kidding. We
Yeah, right.
we don't have that kind of foresight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think even being located in California, I'm sure a lot of the team members are all over the place, and really that was the eye-opening moment for a lot of companies realizing that the remote thing could work and not only could, had to work. So
Yeah, and I mean, our whole company's remote too. So some of the people I've made an effort to really go out and try to meet people in the company. So I've flown to different cities to go meet with our team members. Um, there's a couple of us in New York. Sanjay, the CEO, and I are here, as well as James, our growth manager. And then we do have a decent amount of people in San Francisco, a couple in Brazil, and quite a few across Europe as well too. So and
fun.
one in Thailand. So
Oh,
we're kind
neat.
of spread all over the place.
Yeah, and obviously with your podcast, you probably are speaking with people all around the world.
Yeah, yeah, all hours of the day too, and I like the flexibility. Honestly, I mean, we end up working more hours, but it's fun actually. So if you enjoy what you do, you never really work a day in your life, really.
Absolutely true. No truer words have been spoken. And what I was going to say, over the most recent releases of new solutions within the platform, are there any that you'd like to highlight that you think have been very proud introductions on that side?
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot of work on Sherlock, making it come more to the forefront of the onboarding experience. So I'm really exciting about some of the updates there. We haven't really pushed it out and started marketing it yet. There's still some work that we're doing on it, but
Right?
that's going to become more prevalent for onboarding. And I think people are really going to, like you just saw right there. I mean, how easy it was to track that subscription. The
Yeah,
fact that I
absolutely.
logged into the
Brilliant.
site, start taking control of the expense for it if I need. Um, Stuff like that, when people get that wow moment, they realize like what we can do for them. It's really magical. So I think Sherlock's going to be a really powerful tool. now that we've made it easier for people to onboard and use, we're going to position that more to the front of the onboarding experience. So I think really excited to see where that feature goes. I love the AI tools. I think they're going to start getting more use this year as more people are providing more data. More people are finding use out of that particular product. So I think that's going to continue to grow. Also, recently we did launch that services marketplace. We're seeing an enormous amount of demand for that. Having been an
Okay.
agency owner myself, I mean, it's, you kind of catch what you kill kind of mentality. It's tough for a lot of agencies out there to get noticed. It's really expensive to advertise. A lot of our deals come through word of mouth, right? So I think there's a huge gap in the market for offering a place for service agencies and consultants and service providers in general to really get discovered without spending a boatload of money for it. I mean, we list these guys for free and promote them for free. So, we found like a huge demand for people coming in to sign up their various different types of service provider companies. So we'll see a lot of exciting growth there too. And
Yeah, and
over
it
time, we
adds
want,
a lot of growth, a lot to the whole community aspect of what you're doing. And at
yeah,
the end of the day, clearly, like you said, for entrepreneurs and small businesses who are really a big bulk of the contingents of the companies that are using your platform, you're
yeah.
adding a lot of value there for those companies.
Yeah, and the reason why I joined this company, I mean, I think they have a really really tight knit ship. They have a great vision. I think it could be like the Amazon of SaaS, but with reoccurring revenue. So I think the
Sure.
business model is really amazing, and I think there's just a couple points in the UX that we're working to optimize. And I think once those are addressed, I think this thing's just going to blow up overnight. And then people are saying, oh, I heard about NachoNacho. It's like an overnight success. No, no, no. Success takes like
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. It takes a
Yeah,
long
4 or 5
time.
years in the making. Yeah.
There's a lot of little details and stuff you got to work out, and I saw the opportunity there to do a lot of problem solving and work with the team and learn a lot of new skills myself too. And, work with the team to kind of address those issues and, get this product ready for the ball, I guess, if you will. But yeah, we have an amazing team, smart guys working on this. They're pumping out features, like I said, faster than we can market them. So we're backed by a great team over here. But the
Neat.
real reason
And
I joined was to support businesses like, I've been in the past as well myself. So, um, working directly with founders at companies, I get it. I've been in their shoes, getting to hear about their stories. It's, I really see myself with them. So, being a part of their business and helping promote them is just, it's really fun. Every day I get to meet cool new people. So,
absolutely. And I think, the whole partnership concept and, it sounds like the community is, I'll be honest with you, since launching Software Oasis, I've really found that the whole tech community has been very, willing to lend a hand and, work with one another. And, partnerships are obviously a very important part of that. So really
oh, they
nice to
really
see.
are. Just you just gotta authenticity is key, right? So one of the things we mentioned earlier, I mean, as long as you mean well for other people's business, people are going to want to work with you. They'll see it right away, like a bad
Sure.
cold email marketing message. Like people will see if
Yeah.
it's automated or not. But if you spend a little bit of time to, send, research the person a little bit and send them a personal note, you'll get a really high response rate from that. Because people like to work with people like them. So
And can you give an idea? I don't know if you can share or not. Are there any new features that are close to being released, or things that you're excited to see on the horizon? Or
yeah, I think the AI models will continue to evolve. So I'm really excited about that. The continued work that we're doing there, and I think Sherlock, which has been around for a while, but initially it was mostly like a QuickBooks focused feature, and asking people for QuickBooks access comes way later down the funnel. It's a pretty
sure,
private information. So
right?
now we've added, the Chrome browser. We've added the Google Connect, which people are used to like using Google to sign into any website. So now it makes it easier than ever for people to get that subscription sprawl discovery process going. So I think
Hmm.
that tool's UX is a much better position now to market and actually get more success and traction with it. Um, Currently, it's very tucked away into the UI of the website in the app,
Sure.
but we're going to pull that out to the foreground. Foreground, it's going to be a lot more prominent in the onboarding experience. So really excited about that product to see the engagement that I believe we can get for it and how helpful that tool really can be for people.
Great, great. And I see obviously you mentioned Chrome and earlier in the episode you mentioned Slack. Are more integrations on the horizon, and is it an important part of the whole ecosystem or
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, I think any business these days, you don't want to operate in a silo. I mean, integrations are everything. API connections to this and that
sure.
really makes the business world go round. Like we talked about earlier, people don't like to change their behaviors, right? So we don't want to force behavior change. If you have a process that you like, if you're using Slack, you should get notifications there when you have a transaction if you want. If QuickBooks is your preferred accounting tool, then we should integrate with QuickBooks and share the data back and forth between what you're spending on your software and vice versa. Zapier is another tool that we connect with, which gives you almost unlimited options. I mean, they have 5,000 plus, but pretty much every integration you would need. We connect directly with Zapier as well. So
Okay.
we allow you to work the way that you want to work, which is how people want to do business these days. People want to work the way they want, and that's why integrations are key. So we're going to always have integrations at the forefront of everything that we do. That all comes back down to making the product easier to use and creating less friction for the user, specifically.
So you sit in a very unique spot, having the opportunity to talk to so many incredible founders and entrepreneurs and the like from so many different companies. Um, Within your segment of the market, what do you see as the trends? Heading into next year, or here we are at the beginning of this year. What do you see as
Going
as
faster.
trends? Yeah, what do you see as big trends?
Yeah, that's like I said, one of the cool parts about the job. I get to meet a lot of really intelligent people, fun people, really just amazing people from around the world, different backgrounds too. They all have their own unique story and everything. So I see some consistency with a lot of the stories for success as well. Some of which a lot of the best entrepreneurs tend to be people that have worked in the problem and realized that there is a problem and wanted to build something to solve that problem, and they realize that so many other people have that problem themselves. So that's how a lot of these companies actually get started. Um,
Sure,
Other big trends, AI is obviously a big one. There's kind of a caveat for that too. I think AI in a lot of ways is a feature. You have to know if it's a feature or a business. So some people are launching AI tools that are really just a feature that a larger company already has, or they're going to roll out anyway, and it would just completely kill the business model. There are other tools that are really leveraging AI in a way that's unique and compelling as a business model, that people find a lot of value in and can really survive and thrive in the cutthroat busy business world that we live in today. So um, there's going to be a lot there. Data tools are very popular. There's a lot of data tools coming out. AI kind of combines with that as well too, like helping combine the unlimited amounts of data resources that we have access to today, using artificial intelligence to really get good at analyzing that data and making better decisions or better content or whatever you want it to do out of that. So I think a lot more data tools, AI, security is another big one too. So a lot of people are innovating around security because as the internet grows and becomes more popular, there's near do well people across the internet
sure.
just increasingly using artificial intelligence for instance to optimize their hacking methods. So
Got
there's
it.
a whole counter fight against that too. So a lot of great security tools that are coming out there too. Then I see a lot of innovations around like pricing models too. So a lot of people aren't just doing the flat subscription on a monthly basis. They might be charging per use, like usage based charging, which is kind of interesting. So you
Okay.
see like Apollo.io is a great example. They'll let you see all the contacts so you know what you're getting before you pay for it and download it. But once you want to download and export that file, they'll charge you a certain amount of credits to export those emails, which I think is a really good model because you could see the data that you're going to buy before you actually pay for it. And then you only pay for as much as you need. So I think they've done a really great job with their entire product workflow and experience, and their entire business model for that standpoint.
Neat. And let me just ask you to speak to 2 points, and then I wanted to give our listeners an idea as to how they can get started with Nacho Nacho. So if I were a potential software vendor coming to you, what are the main question marks that I might have that maybe you could address
Yep.
that a vendor would want to know about?
Yeah, so a lot of people want to know right off the bat, how much does it cost?
Sure.
um, so one of the things that we've, I think, done really well, not that I've done, the CEO and Alan and their vision was to make it very easy for sellers. Um, so they've made it almost like a no-brainer for sellers to come on board. So for sellers, we offer no fees. There's no cost at all. We only get paid if we refer a paying customer. So it's a win-win for you. That's a zero CAC acquisition, right? All you have to do is sign up and list your product. We do require some sort of a deal for that for our customers, and that comes back to the customer in the form of cashback. Um, so there's no cost, there's no integration, so you don't have to get your engineers involved and do any sort of like create a special landing page or anything like that, any sort of API integration, nothing. So a lot of our customers, like I mentioned before, use those Nacho cards, and those Nacho cards become the attribution tool. So we could actually see when the transaction happens, that becomes data in the spend management tool for the business, but also for attribution with the seller, we could actually show them that the transaction actually occurred because we have the information from the credit card processor.
Okay. And for an early stage startup, that may be comparing this business model versus what's traditionally out there, what are, you know, old school competitors offering to that type of company in terms of getting up and running?
To marketing their company.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, the CAC is getting really expensive these days, so you could do the traditional throw a bunch of money in the throw a bunch of money into the advertising, and hope you get some good conversions from it, and it actually makes financial sense. There's also like a lot of procurement companies, MSPs, that'll also like act as like resellers, and they'll also help with the implementation as well. So getting into their networks and having them actively recommend your product. A lot of companies are doing that, especially more sophisticated products like enterprise. And for more sophisticated buyers like enterprise customers with enterprise products, it tends to sometimes it's nice to have a helping hand with the whole onboarding process.
sure.
But a lot of SaaS buying is becoming a lot more decentralized, like I mentioned before. So, the head of HR doesn't want to have to, you know, doesn't want to have to go to the IT manager or the CEO every time to make a software purchase. The CEO doesn't want that. He doesn't want to get bothered with that stuff. They get their budgets for their departments and they say, you guys go spend this the way you guys need. And where our solution is really well positioned as is making it easy for those people to be able to buy our product, buy products through our marketplace, use them, onboard themselves, and do their own research and make good decisions. And then collectively as a company, they can use the subscription management that they want, but they're not beholden to it.
Yeah, and it sounds like a very innovative model, to be honest. And for any company out there that's looking to onboard, it obviously says, "Hey, we're in it with you, and we make money if you make money."
Yep. Yeah, it's a win-win. Our marketing motto, which I forgot to mention, we also come with a lot of free marketing stuff we do for them. But our marketing motto is a rising tide raises all boats. So
Sure.
PLG is definitely, oh, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if we do our job and we promote their business and they're making sales from it, we'll make money. Our customers are happy. It's a win-win-win across the board. And that's where you build trust and have that authenticity with people. And people will come to depend on you as the best place to buy SaaS and eventually manage their subscriptions as well.
Neat. And then the final question for you, if I were a company that wanted to, subscribe to the marketplace, what are the options for me to get started with NachoNacho?
Yeah, so if you're interested in SaaS management, you could sign up in the Get Started menu and just go right into the premium account. If you just want software, just come browse our marketplace, nachonacho.com/marketplace, and just come in and find the software you're looking for. Some are premium software, which require the premium SaaS management subscription and a Nacho card to make the purchase for attribution purposes. But we have now 300 plus products that are free. You can just come in, just click on the product link, click redeem, and you do have to create an account like you would any other site, name and email, password, and you get into the system and all the redemption instructions for you right there. Within a couple clicks, you have that discount. And Some of them are immediate discounts where you can get the discount up front. Some are cashback, which will show up in about 30 days, more or less. They'll come right into
Sure.
your account. You'll get a notification when the cash has arrived, and you can pull it directly out into your bank account from there.
Great. And we'll leave a link in the show notes for anyone that that is looking to get up and running to make it easier to find all of this that we've talked about. But I think that was super. I really appreciate your
Thank you.
taking the time out. I know we've been trying to connect for a little while, so
Yeah, I got sick, like
well, thank
everybody else this last month and a
yeah.
half, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a challenging couple of months for everybody. But coming up on our next episode, we have Ola Pearson. He's the founder of a company over in Europe, Wordfinder. They have a software solution that he launched in 1990, believe it or not, prior to the internet, providing dictionary
Wow.
solutions to help businesses communicate globally. As CEO, he leads a team of um, offering the market's broadest dictionary assortment to over 25,000 businesses and 500,000 users. Their solution bridges the gap between languages and cultures worldwide, and offers a lot of unique functionality. So that's coming up on our next episode. And from my end, I want to thank Andy for joining us on the podcast this week.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure. It's always fun to do these kind of conversations. And, you're a great entrepreneur and insightful guy yourself, too. So it makes a back and forth conversation easy.
Fun. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.